and a pure heart is the most powerful force in the universe. Your enemies want to take it from you. Very, very important. In my opinion, at the root of a lot of spiritual warfare, if you've dealt with narcissists, if you've dealt with manipulators, if you've dealt with people who have tried to do negative things to you on a spiritual level, malevolent people who have done things to you that are really strange, such as harassing you for no reason, doing smear campaigns, and negative things like that. At the root of it, here's something that we should discuss. So there are a lot of individuals who have lost their ability to love, and in some cases even their ability to feel. They no longer have a pure heart, and as a result, when they see you having a pure heart, having empathy, and having a lot of love inside of you, they become envious of that. They want that, and they want to take it from you. This is a trait that sometimes is associated with youth. And you've heard about the scenario where there might be a person who is like a little kid, and all of a sudden someone comes along and tells them there is no Santa Claus, or you can't do that, or you'll never be that. And they put that mindset in them because they want that little kid to feel the same way that they felt. So what I'm talking about is like a magnification of this. If you were able to preserve your innocence, some people call it an inner child, a healed inner child, peace, lightheartedness, joyfulness, love inside of you, there are other people that can see it, sense it, in some cases hear it, observe it, from little things that you may do, or from indicators from you, and they see this and they want to crush it. This is something that's really important to note. And you'll know who these people are if you use your intuition, if you use your discernment, and what their motives and goals are. These are people that, one of the ways you'll know is, I'll give you a good example. If it's someone who is claiming to be spiritual, but there's something about them that is really dark, they don't have empathy, and they're mean-spirited in the way that they talk to people and the way that they interact with people, or you'll know, use your intuition, use your discernment. That is a good sign that there may be something more going on at hand. So this is really important to note, because a lot of people do not realize that if they still have the ability to connect to love, empathy, high vibrational emotions, they're literally holding the most powerful tool in the world. With that, you can manifest. With that, you can achieve all things. With that, you can go to higher levels. A lot of it, I won't go into details about here. You can do anything with that. Anything. But if you have lost that, or if you have given that up, what ends up occurring is the people who have sold that or given that up essentially sold their soul. All they can work with at that point is manipulation. That's all they have. All they can work with is manipulation. And so you, if you still have this, and I would say it's pretty rare, would still have the ability to go to higher levels, to do amazing things, and to do positive stuff, where they can only operate through manipulation. You would still have the ability to access intuition and other spiritual gifts. They, on the other hand, would have to use surveillance tools, would have to use harassment and other strategies, if that makes sense. This is something that's really, really important to know. So if you are a person who has a pure heart, has a lot of empathy, has a lot of love inside of you, know that you already have the most powerful tool in the world. That is the most powerful manifestation force and tool in the entire world. Without it, you cannot manifest. Without it, you cannot manifest. So if you are dealing with people that you know are into dark stuff, that are very negative, that are highly materialistic, and on top of that, dark. And when I say dark, people that lack empathy for others, that are cold, that are callous, mean-spirited, even if they don't exhibit it or showcase it all of the time, but maybe you've just noticed moments where you will hear or see them say or do something that will showcase that, that is something to be aware of. So guard your heart above all things. I think I've said that like 20 times. Hi, how are you? That's in the Bible. When I actually read through the Bible, the part about guarding your heart is in there so many times. I think I wrote down and counted at least 40 different verses, 43 verses. I stopped after that. Guard your heart above all things. And to be honest, I don't need to go into details about what that means. I always encourage, reading the Bible for yourself, seeing it for yourself, meditating on it for yourself. And the important part of that is, when I say guard your heart, keep your heart pure, and don't allow anyone in this world to make you dark or to make you give up your soul for the world. Like, are you serious? Do you know how temporary this is? I know you're not supposed to technically discuss some of that, but think about how long your life is, right? Think about how many years you've lived. And think about just the last 10 years. Think about how fast that's gone by. And then think about how much life you have left, technically. Right? This is so temporary. But guard your heart above all things. Don't get... of course, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but this is just a reminder to remember to not allow yourself to get so emotionally invested in what's going on around you and in other people and in the world that you lose your sense of connection or your sense of self. So that's really important to know. Guard your heart above all things. Stay connected with God. Make sure that you stay pure-hearted. And do not give up your heart for anything within the world. That's another thing the Bible talks about a lot, which is the world, the world, the world. And I won't get too much into details about that right now, but a big issue is there are a lot of people that, well, and it makes sense if you don't believe in God or spirituality, if you don't have a connection to that. It makes sense that for many of them, they see materialism as everything. Oh, thank you, Neo. Appreciate that. They see the world as everything. They see getting that car, that man, that woman, that house, whatever, as the only thing that matters. And it makes sense because, thank you for tapping the screen, because they do not believe in the spiritual and they do not believe in God. So when you're not valuing those things that they value and you don't care about their car, I've actually literally been around myself, like people that are extremely rich, and I didn't care. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay, another bill to have to deal with. Like, all right, whatever. And sometimes they'll get mad. They'll get mad, and you'll see or very agitated if you're not impressed by their car or their house or their whatever. And it's like, that's cool. That's great. If you're comfortable, that's the most important thing that matters. But it's important to understand this because people like that who lack a connection with spirituality and see everything within the world as the only thing that matters, and the 35 years or 40 years or 50 years that they may have left as the only thing that matters, even though it goes by that fast, that they don't devote any time to their soul. By you having something that they don't have, something that they can't just go out and buy, that infuriates some people. Of course, not everyone, but I'm talking about some people. They can't just go and buy a soul, right? They wish they could. They can't just go out and, get a little quick shortcut on, okay, this is how I can become spiritual. Many have tried. They've come up with all sorts of ways. And they see that you have something that's more valuable than money and materialism. Because especially if you value your soul, and if you value your connection with God and intuition more than cars and houses and money, then you're valuing something that they cannot buy more than money. And for some people, this makes them upset. So this is something to keep in mind as really important. So that's why it's important to guard your heart and to not allow those people, because not all, some, and you may or may not meet people like this or know people like this, may try to make you dark or to spiritually attack you because you still have a soul or joyfulness, or you don't need what they have. Absolutely, Neo. Absolutely. And it's something as simple as you just being peaceful and happy that will irritate them. That's where they come up with that term about your light irritates their demons. That's a little bit about that. That's kind of a nice metaphor. Something as simple as you just being happy with what you have. A simple life. Maybe you have a little cabin and a wood stove, and that's good for you, and you're loving your life, and you have a happy family. And then there's the rich man who's like, I would give up everything for that. The rich man might have houses and money and cars and everything that he wants. The other guy has a simple life and a cabin and a family and is happier than he is, and it makes him upset. This type of scenario can happen. And of course, you can be rich and be very happy as well, but that's not what I'm talking about here, just to create an example. So guard your heart above all things, because the main reason why people are attacking people spiritually, from what I've observed, is because they still have a connection with God, a lightheartedness, and soulfulness, and something that's intangible. And there are people, you can call it forces, energies, entities, however you like to look at it, that do not like this. And their whole goal is to get that from you. That's how they see it, or to put it out in you. I'm going to put it out that fire is how they'll see it. And I've met some of these people that actively are into this stuff. We've talked about it quite a bit on this channel. Some interesting characters. You said that's why you don't want to have a house after retirement. You want to have a sailboat? See, that's a great life. Imagine that. All the beautiful islands there are too. And being able to just pick up and travel and be by the water. That makes perfect sense. That's awesome. Yeah, and it's, it's different for everybody. And whatever makes you happy. And, some people, they want a big house. And there's one person, I can't remember the name. I'll just skip over that story. But there's this one guy who's really a cool guy. He talks a lot about this stuff as well. And he mentioned how he bought, like, his dream house. I think he spent, like, it's worth, like, probably over he has it, and he's like, it's too big. What am I going to do with all this? And he wants to actually get rid of it, and he wants to get a little house. He's in his 70s, and he's like, yeah, it's okay, but it wasn't all I thought it was going to be. Just like if you've gotten your favorite new car that you've always wanted, and you're super excited about it, and you can't wait to get it, and it's great. Remember when I manifested in my dream car, the exact car I always wanted, and it's fantastic for like the first 3 days. I wanted a convertible, and I finally got to live out like the fantasy of having the top down. I'm all dressed up with my makeup on and a fancy dress, and I was getting a lot of attention in that convertible, and I didn't actually like it. I didn't like the attention. I had a lot of people, especially when I was at a stoplight, and I had guys trying to like hit on me and, oh, you look so good in that car. And, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, I didn't like it. It felt very weird, and I would just put the top back up. And the car was okay, but it was so shiny and stuff. I didn't like all that maintenance. I didn't like having to worry about every time I got a little scratch. And then I would get like a little scratch on the car, and then I would just feel like the car was worthless after that. Not worthless, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like when you get something that's brand new and shiny and it gets that scratch, and you're like, oh, it doesn't, now you're like obsessed with trying to get it fixed, and you spend too much money trying to get that one little scratch or dent fixed. And like I said, within like a week or so, you've listened to all your favorite songs. You've driven it by the beach. You've driven it with the top down. You've turned up your music loud. You've done all that. And you're like, I don't like this. This is boring. Car's kind of hard to drive. Like, yeah. And the point is, it's like, just like with that, everything, it wears off. The materialism stuff is cool, but even a nice big flashy mansion or something, that feeling wears off after a short amount of time. But what doesn't work, but many people like the feeling of other people being impressed by something that no longer even impresses them. You said they hate that darkness can't drive away light. Absolutely. But light annihilates darkness. Absolutely. Well said, Neo. You said same with you. Oh, you got the bright red Mustang. Oh, that was the car. A few years back, if you had a Mustang, especially a red Mustang, that was the car. I didn't get the Mustang, but I got a different type of convertible. But yeah. And it seems like it's going to be like everything will be perfect when I have this car, when I have this thing, when I'm in this school, when I have this house, and then you get it and you're like, it's all right. But what matters is maintaining the connection to your soul, your heart. And I remember when Musk moved into a tiny home, and some people I talked to about that thought it was a publicity stunt. That was like a few years back. I don't think it was. I think he sold his mansion and moved into a tiny home. But it's like, when you get the mansion, you realize this isn't it. And I haven't had a mansion, but I've been in mansions and they're really cool. But I'm sure it's just like everything else, it wears off. I lived one time, I did used to have a luxury condo that I stayed in years back. And it looked over the entire city and it was super beautiful, very pricey or whatever, and amazing view. One, I was so stressed about having to keep it up and stuff that made it not so fun. Two, I didn't really have enough people to like come over and enjoy it with me. It wasn't what I thought. It wasn't like there are gonna be people there all the time. Like, I don't know. And three, after like a day or two, it just got kind of boring. I'm like, this is cool. It was nice when people would come over and, if they were impressed by it or excited by it. This is years ago. That was kind of fun. And the same people I was trying to impress were the same people that didn't like me anyways. And actually when they came in, they found like the one little thing about it to try to, make fun of me about, oh, this part's kind of old. I'm like, I live in one of the most nicest buildings in the city. And yeah, the people I was trying to impress didn't even like me anyways. That's typically how it works. Oh, thank you, Neo. I appreciate that. Hey, Hanak, how are you? But yeah, so I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm about to go ahead and head off for tonight. I'm about to get some sleep. But, but by the way, materialism can be fun. If you have like little things that you want to buy that you think will make you feel good that are fun, that's awesome as well. But I think you guys get the gist of what I'm trying to say. I hope you guys have an awesome, fun, amazing night. Thank you so much for hanging out. Guard your heart above all things, especially in romantic relationships, please. The number one thing I have seen that has made it to where men or women have become dark, have become like somebody that you don't even recognize. They used to be super vibrant and happy and inspired and artistic, or they used to love to cook and they were like so fun to be around, to just completely dark is always usually a relationship with the wrong person. They give all of their emotion to that person, all of their heart, and then when that person is gone, mission accomplished. And to be honest, I don't know if I've seen any of those people recover and turn back into who they were before. Do I think it's impossible? Absolutely not. I'm just talking about the ones that I've met personally, who I've seen go through it. And it's really sad. It's like, dang, like, and you can't really help somebody. Like, that's like an internal thing. You can't really, it's like, you can help them, but only to a certain extent. I mean, that's an internal thing. Even if they they can go to therapy and stuff, but it's, and then a lot of times they regret all the time that they lost, and it's very sad. So, but yeah, that's the biggest one, is the romantic relationships, in some cases friendships. And also be aware of, like, if you're doing really well, somebody that comes in that's like their job is basically to kind of like, I don't want to say break you, but like, just be aware. That's all. Just be aware. Guard your heart above all things. Take your time getting to know people. You do not have to be in a rush. Sorry if I'm talking loud. This is a different microphone. If I'm too loud, I apologize. You do not have to be in a hurry. If somebody likes you and they want to get to know you, thank you, Neo. Take your time. Get to know them. Hang out with them. If they like you, they don't mind getting to know you over time. If they're upset because you want to get to know them slowly, that means they probably don't plan on being in your life for a while. And this can be a friend, this can be an acquaintance, it can be a romantic relationship. The huge key is if they're mad because you want to take your time to get to know them because you're like, but I expect to have you in my life for a while. That is someone that probably does not plan on being there for very long and could even be a manipulator if they have the other red flags. You said you always demand taking it slow. That's awesome, Neo. Thank you, Parisia. That's very sweet. Hope I said your name wrong. Hope I said your name right. I'm sorry. I've been up. I only got a few hours of sleep. I apologize. So I'm in my pajamas right now. So I hope I say your name wrong. Anyways. Parisia. Hi, Vicky. How are you? I'm doing great. Thank you. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I hope you have an awesome, amazing night. Thank you so much for hanging out. Oh, thank you, Neo Sapiens. My hair right now is a little bit of a mess. It's just in a ponytail. It's pretty frizzy at the top. It normally gets very frizzy in the summertime. And I try not to, that's a whole nother tape. But I try not to put too much heat to flatten it. That's why this part's very straight at the bottom and it's frizzier up top. I try not to put too much heat on it during the summertime because then it starts breaking and then it gets brittle. And then usually around the winter it's perfect. When it's really cold, no humidity. So my hair will be like super silky and bouncy and really like longer. And then when it gets to summer, it gets frizzier, it gets shorter. And then as far as skin, I might actually make a full skincare and because I have some stuff. There's a lot of products that I like a lot that I think are really, really cool. But I love that stuff. I might like make a whole tape on that or something one day and share the tips that I've learned to see if it helps somebody else. I mean, that's how I found out about a lot of different stuff was over the years. Hearing about something, then watching a YouTube video, and then reading an article, then checking out another video and going back and forth. Hi, Bryn. Oh, we were talking about relationships. We were talking about keeping your heart pure and other cool stuff. Yeah, you can, there's going to be a live replay that uploads right after this. I'm going to do this as a video on demand, so you'll be able to check it out. Just, yeah, it's kind of winded down now. So... But yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, I just washed my face, took a shower. It's been super hot, so I feel kind of gritty. That's one thing I'm not a huge fan of with the heat, is kind of feeling gritty. So I took a shower and now I'm about to head to sleep. Hope you have an awesome, amazing, wonderful rest of the day. And guess I'll talk to you all later. Thank you so much for hanging out and stopping by and stopping in. Bye-bye. Good night.